Welcome back to JF Coins, the channel where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and incredible finds that might just be sitting in your pocket change. If you are new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because today we are uncovering the unbelievable story of the 1974 D Roosevelt dime, a seemingly ordinary 10-cent coin that has shocked the numismatic world with its stunning value. Believe it or not, some versions of this tiny coin have been appraised at an eye-watering $45 million. Yes, you heard that right. 45 million. In this video, we are going to explore everything you need to know about the 1974 D Roosevelt dime. From its origin story and historical context to the unique errors and mysteries that make it worth big money in the coin collecting market. So grab your coin jar, settle in, and let's dive into the legendary tale of one of the most astonishing coins in American history. To truly understand the value of the 1974 D Roosevelt dime, we have to rewind the clock back to the early 1940s. Following the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1945, the United States Mint made a decision to honor his legacy by placing his portrait on the dime. Roosevelt had been a strong supporter of the March of Dimes, a campaign to fight polio, which made him a fitting figure for the 10-cent coin. The first Roosevelt dimes were struck in 1946, replacing the Mercury dime that had been in circulation since 1916. The new design featured Roosevelt's profile on the obverse and a torch flanked by olive and oak branches on the reverse, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. Since then, the Roosevelt dime has remained in continuous production, but not all dimes are created equal, and some, like the 1974 D, hold secrets that make collectors' hearts race. Fast forward to the year 1974. The nation was going through economic changes and inflation was rising. In this environment, coins were being produced in huge numbers to keep up with demand. The Denver Mint, one of the main mints of the United States located in Colorado, produced tens of millions of Roosevelt dimes that year, over 571 million to be exact, but in the middle of that massive production run, something unexpected happened. A small number of coins emerged with characteristics so unusual, so unique, and so mysterious that they would eventually be classified as ultra-rarities in the world of numismatics. These rare variants are what collectors are after today. And this is what brings us to the question everyone is asking: how can a 10-cent coin possibly be worth up to $45 million? In the world of rare coins, value is driven by several factors. These include mintage numbers, historical significance, physical condition, and most importantly, rarity and error. The 1974 D Roosevelt dime checks several of these boxes, but there is one more key ingredient that makes it a potential jackpot: the presence of a mint error or anomaly that defies explanation. Among the rarest of the 1974 D dimes are those with misstrikes, double dies, and off-center strikes. Some even contain unexpected metal compositions due to transitional errors. There are rumors in the collector community of a few 1974 D Roosevelt dimes that were struck on a 90% silver planchet by mistake, despite the U.S. Mint officially switching to clad compositions years earlier. These kinds of coins are considered holy grails. They are not supposed to exist. And yet, one or two examples have surfaced at auctions and private sales, drawing attention from wealthy investors and collectors from around the world. The story that captured everyone's imagination came out in the early 2000s when rumors began circulating about a 1974 D Roosevelt dime selling privately for over $45 million. This was no ordinary sale. It was confidential, high stakes, and involved some of the biggest names in the numismatic and investment world. While details remain scarce and cloaked in secrecy, insiders suggest that the coin featured an extreme error combined with a nearly flawless MS-70 grade and a historical backstory tied to a mint official. Though this particular coin may never be publicly shown, its myth continues to grow. It is the kind of story that keeps treasure hunters searching, hoping, and dreaming. And as history has shown us before, sometimes the most valuable discoveries come from the most unlikely places, like the bottom of a penny jar or tucked away in a forgotten drawer. So now you are probably wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these valuable dimes? First, check the mint mark. The letter D just to the left of the torch on the reverse indicates that the coin was minted in Denver. Next, examine the coin under a magnifying glass. Look for any doubling of the letters or numbers, especially around the word Liberty and the date 1974. This could be a double die error. Also check for weight. A standard Roosevelt dime from 1974 should weigh 2.27 grams. If it weighs significantly more or less, it might have been struck on the wrong planchet, possibly silver or even a foreign coin. Blank condition is also critical. Coins that are in mint state condition, with no scratches, wear, or damage, are the ones that can fetch the highest prices at auction. You might be asking, okay, but what is the real market value of a 1974 D Roosevelt dime if I were to find one right now? For common circulated examples, the value is usually just face value, 10 cents. But if your coin is in brilliant uncirculated condition, it might be worth $1 to $5 to the right buyer. Now if you find one with a genuine error or in MS-67 grade or higher, you are looking at anywhere from $100 to several $1,000s. The top-tier examples with confirmed rare errors or extreme anomalies. These can reach tens of thousands to even millions depending on rarity, provenance, and condition. The ultra-rare version tied to the $45 million story is still shrouded in mystery, but its legend has already influenced the market. Collectors are now willing to pay astronomical prices for even a chance that a coin might be one of the hidden gems. The story of the 1974 D Roosevelt dime teaches us a powerful lesson: value can hide in plain sight. A coin you've seen hundreds of times before might hold the key to a fortune. So take time to examine your pocket change. Learn about coin grading. Join collector groups. And most importantly, stay curious. Rare coins are more than just money, they are tiny time capsules, pieces of history, and sometimes, they are treasures beyond imagination. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just starting your journey, always remember, every great discovery began with someone asking, could this be worth something? And maybe, just maybe, your next find will be the one that changes everything. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1974 D Roosevelt dime and want more videos like this, hit that like button and leave a comment below. Have you ever found a rare coin in your change? Share your story, we love hearing from you, and until next time, keep searching, keep dreaming, and never underestimate the power of a single coin. See you in the next video. Would you like me to format this into a downloadable script or add visual/voiceover suggestions to go with it? Welcome back to the channel where we dig deep into the hidden treasures you might be holding in your hands right now. Today we're diving into a coin that has sparked curiosity, excitement, and even disbelief across the numismatic world. We're talking about the one-dime 1984 D Roosevelt Liberty USA coin and the unbelievable claim that one of these might be worth a jaw-dropping $41 million. That's right, 41 million with an M. So what's the real story behind this coin? Is it really worth that much? Is it a modern treasure or just another piece of internet hype? Get comfortable because we're going deep into the history, the details, and the fascinating world behind the 1984 D Roosevelt dime. First things first, let's set the stage. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1984, D as a tribute to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away in 1945. He was not only a beloved figure in American politics but also the founder of the March of Dimes, a campaign that raised funds to fight polio. So it made perfect sense to put his image on the 10-cent coin. His profile facing left has been a staple of the dime ever since, replacing the earlier winged Liberty head design, also known as the Mercury dime. Now fast forward to 1984. The United States Mint in Denver struck millions and millions of Roosevelt dimes that year. In fact, the mintage of the 1984 D Roosevelt dime was over 546 million coins. That's right, more than 500 million of these dimes were made in Denver alone. So what could possibly make one of these coins worth millions? That's where things get really interesting. When a coin is said to be worth big money, it's usually due to one or more of these factors: rarity, condition, mint error, historical significance, or collector demand. For the 1984 D Roosevelt dime, it's not the age that gives it value, it's the possibility of extremely rare minting errors and incredibly high-grade condition. Let's talk about errors. There are coins that come out of the mint with major mistakes. Some may have off-center strikes, double dies, missing elements, or even incorrect planchets. A double die error occurs when the coin is struck twice with slight movement between strikes, leading to a doubling effect on the letters, numbers, or other design elements. This can be extremely valuable to collectors, especially if it's a visible and dramatic doubling. However, no official double die version of the 1984 D Roosevelt dime has been widely confirmed in the collector market with a $41 million price tag. So where does that number come from? It appears to be tied to a rumored or perhaps speculative market listing that placed a 1984 D Roosevelt dime with supposed ultra-rare characteristics at an astronomical value. Some online listings and social media posts have fueled the legend, saying that a unique error or possibly even a one-of-a-kind prototype was discovered, leading to a sky-high valuation. But here's the reality: most reputable numismatic sources do not confirm any sale or auction where a 1984 D dime has gone for anything close to that. So be cautious if you see outrageous listings unless it's backed by a certified auction house or expert grading authority. Now don't get discouraged. Even though your 1984 D dime is probably not worth millions, there are still versions of this coin that can fetch decent money. If your dime is in pristine condition, meaning it's uncirculated with no signs of wear and has been graded MS67 or higher by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, it could be worth anywhere from a few dollars to several $100s. Coins in MS68 or MS69 grades are very rare and can be worth thousands. The highest auction price for a near-perfect 1984 D Roosevelt dime was over $1,000. Not bad for a coin you might find in your change jar. Now let's go back to the history for a moment. The Denver Mint, where the 1984 D dimes were produced, has a long and rich history of coin production. Located in Colorado, it has been operational since 1906 and is responsible for producing billions of coins for circulation each year. The D mint mark on the Roosevelt dime right below the date signifies that it was struck at this historic facility. Collectors love stories, and every coin has one. Some people collect dimes by year, some by mint mark, some search for specific errors, and others simply love the artistry and legacy of American coinage. The Roosevelt dime represents not just monetary value but a piece of American history, a tribute to a president who led the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. That alone gives it a value that goes beyond dollars and cents. So what should you do if you have a 1984 D Roosevelt dime? First, check its condition. Look closely at the surface. Are there scratches? Is it shiny or worn down? The better the condition, the more valuable it might be. Then look for errors. Flip it under a magnifying glass and inspect the date, the letters, and the edges for anything unusual like doubling, cracks, missing elements, or signs of a misstrike. If you suspect you found something special, take it to a professional coin dealer or send it to be graded by a trusted organization like PCGS or NGC. That's the only way to know for sure what you have. In conclusion, is the 1984 D Roosevelt dime worth $41 million? The answer is most likely no, unless there's a hidden secret about a unique error coin that has yet to be publicly confirmed or authenticated. But can it still be valuable? Absolutely. A high-grade specimen or a unique error could be worth hundreds or even thousands. And more importantly, it's a reminder to always check your change, because you never know what kind of treasure might be hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of America's most mysterious modern coins, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next journey into numismatic history. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a valuable coin in your pocket, or if you want us to cover another rare or interesting coin in a future video. Until next time, keep collecting, stay curious, and may your next coin find be $1 million miracle. Let me know if you'd like a shorter version for TikTok. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors, history buffs, treasure hunters, and curious minds across the world. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating story of a tiny piece of metal that might be sitting in your pocket or hiding in an old drawer in your house right now. You might think it's just a regular coin worth 10 cents. But what if I told you this dime, this very specific 2000p Roosevelt Liberty USA dime, could be worth a jaw-dropping $36 million? That's right. $36 million. And I'm not talking about a mint error from the 1800s. I'm talking about a coin minted in the year 2000. Let that sink in. So grab your magnifying glass and your coin jars, because today we're exploring every single detail about this legendary dime. From its design and history to what makes it so rare and valuable. We'll look at what collectors are saying, auction results, and the massive dollar figures this coin can fetch on the open market. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for. And who knows? Maybe you're sitting on a gold mine without even knowing it. First, let's talk about the Roosevelt dime itself. This design has been a staple of American currency since 1946. After the death of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt in 1945, the U.S. Mint honored him by placing his profile on the dime. It was a fitting tribute. Roosevelt was instrumental in the creation of the March of Dimes, an organization dedicated to fighting polio, a disease that personally affected him. The design was created by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the United States Mint. It features Roosevelt's left-facing profile on the obverse with the word liberty to the left. The phrase "In God We Trust" sits just below his neck, and the year of minting appears on the bottom. On the reverse side, we see a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty. It's flanked by an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch symbolizing strength and independence. The words United States of America and one dime are clearly visible. Now let's fast forward to the year 2000. This is where things get interesting. In the year 2000, the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of Roosevelt dimes. These are usually extremely common and circulate widely. But not all dimes from the year 2000 are created equal. Among the sea of ordinary coins, a few mysterious and incredibly valuable variations have emerged. And that's where the story of the 2000p Roosevelt Liberty dime gets wild. Some of these coins were struck on experimental planchets or feature striking errors. Others have mysterious origins, possibly linked to test runs or clandestine mint operations. The rarest versions of these dimes have become the stuff of legend in the numismatic world. Let's address the burning question. How can a coin that's supposed to be worth 10 cents possibly reach a market value of $36 million? Well, in the world of coin collecting, several factors determine a coin's value. Let's break them down. Number 1 is rarity. If a coin was minted in extremely low numbers, or if only a few examples exist today, collectors will pay big money to own one. Number 2 is mint errors. These are coins that were struck incorrectly at the mint. Maybe it was struck off-center. Maybe it was printed on the wrong planchet. Maybe it has double dies or other abnormalities. Some of these errors are extremely rare and fetch astronomical prices. Number 3 is condition. A coin that has never been circulated and looks brand new can be worth significantly more than a worn version. Number 4 is demand. If collectors are actively searching for a coin, and only a few are known to exist, bidding wars can drive the price sky high. The $36 million dime is believed to fall under at least 2 or 3 of these categories. Some reports suggest it was struck on a planchet meant for a foreign coin or another denomination entirely. Others say it may have been a test piece accidentally released into circulation. Its unique characteristics, combined with pristine condition and extreme rarity, make it one of the most talked about coins in the world. Now let's talk about the money. There have been multiple reports and unconfirmed stories floating around numismatic circles about 2000p Roosevelt dimes selling for enormous sums. The highest rumored price? $36 million. This number was allegedly paid by a private collector who was obsessed with obtaining the rarest and most mysterious coins in American history. Of course, this transaction wasn't recorded in public auction records, leading some skeptics to question the story. But here's the thing. Even without that exact transaction on the record, similar rare dimes from other years have fetched hundreds of thousands and even millions at major auctions. It's not out of the question. For example, a 1975 Noes Roosevelt dime once sold for over $400,000. Another rare Roosevelt dime with mint errors reached over $1 million. So if a 2000p dime exists with the right combination of rarity, error, and pristine condition, the idea of a $36 million sale doesn't sound so crazy after all. So now you're probably wondering, how do I know if I have one of these dimes? Here's what to look for. First, check the year. It must be 2000 and it must have a P mint mark, which stands for Philadelphia. Next, look at the weight. Use a precise digital scale. A normal dime should weigh about 2.268 grams. If your dime is significantly lighter or heavier, it could have been struck on a different planchet. Check for errors. Look at the lettering. Look at the strike. Does anything seem off? Do you see doubling? Off-center design? Extra metal? Missing details? If you see anything unusual, take it to a professional. Don't clean the coin. Don't alter it. Store it carefully and take it to a certified coin dealer or grading service like PCGS or NGC, and even if it's not the $36 million version, it could still be worth hundreds or thousands. So there you have it. The humble 2000p Roosevelt Liberty Dime. A coin you might overlook every single day. But one that could potentially change your life if you have the right one. It's a reminder that value isn't always obvious. That treasure can hide in plain sight. And that history, mystery, and money sometimes come in the smallest of packages. If you like this video and want more deep dives into rare coins and hidden treasures, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single discovery. We're just getting started. Drop a comment below and let us know if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're going to start checking your change a little more closely. This is signing off. Keep searching. Keep believing. And maybe one day, that one dime will make you a millionaire. Until next time. Peace. Would you like a version of this script formatted for a teleprompter or broken into sections for easier video editing? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell to get notifications for all things related to rare coins, their history, and their value. Today, we're diving into something truly fascinating, a coin that has captivated collectors, investors, and numismatists alike. You may have heard about this particular coin, and if you haven't, get ready because we're talking about the 2006p Roosevelt dime, a coin that can hold incredible value in today's market. From its historical significance to its astounding market worth, let's explore what makes this dime so special. So, you might be wondering, what's the big deal with the 2006p Roosevelt dime? Why are we talking about a coin that was minted nearly 2 decades ago? Well, this coin, which was made by the US Mint in 2006, has a lot more going for it than just its face value. While the average Roosevelt dime is worth just 10 cents in everyday transactions, a certain subset of these dimes, especially those in pristine condition or with certain unique characteristics, have fetched amounts in the millions. Yes, you heard that right. Millions of dollars. First, let's get into the history of the Roosevelt dime and understand why this coin, and the 2006 version in particular, have made such a huge impact in the numismatic world. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946, just after the death of the 32nd President of the United States, Franklin D. Roosevelt. The U.S. Mint designed the coin to honor Roosevelt's legacy, particularly his efforts during the Great Depression and his leadership in World War II. The coin's design features a left-facing profile of Roosevelt on the obverse, and the reverse shows a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols of peace, unity, and strength. Now, let's focus on the 2006 version of the Roosevelt dime. The 2006p dime, specifically, was minted in Philadelphia, as indicated by the P mint mark. This coin, like many other modern dimes, was made with a combination of copper and nickel. However, it was the timing of its production, as well as its condition, that made certain 2006p dimes so desirable to collectors. These coins were produced in significant quantities, and most of them were released into circulation without any immediate fanfare. But over time, certain factors would come into play, making a select number of them highly valuable. What makes the 2006p Roosevelt dime such a gem in the coin collecting world? The answer lies in the concept of varieties and errors. As with many other coins, there are variations in the minting process that can lead to different features or mistakes on the coins. Some of these mistakes, like misprints, unusual die clashes, or minting errors, can make certain coins incredibly rare and valuable. In the case of the 2006p dime, several rare varieties and errors have been identified, including coins with die cracks, off-center strikes, or double dies. These errors are what really set the 2006 P. Roosevelt dime apart from other dimes of the same year. One of the most well-known errors associated with the 2006 P. Roosevelt dime is the so-called double die variety. This occurs when the die that strikes the coin is misaligned, causing a doubling effect on the design. In the case of the Roosevelt dime, this might result in a noticeable doubling of Roosevelt's profile or the inscriptions on the coin. These types of errors are rare, and when they do occur, they can make the coin worth significantly more than its face value. Additionally, there are collectors who are particularly interested in coins with unique characteristics such as the quality of the strike, the level of wear, and the luster of the coin. Coins that are graded in near-perfect condition, such as those receiving a grade of MS 68 or higher, can be worth far more than those that have seen heavy circulation. The 2006 P. Roosevelt dime, when found in mint condition with no signs of wear, can command a high price in the right market. The value of a coin like the 2006 P. Roosevelt dime can fluctuate based on several factors. First and foremost, its rarity plays a huge role in determining its worth. While most of the dimes from 2006 are still relatively easy to find, a small percentage of them, especially those with minting errors, are incredibly rare. The second factor that influences a coin's value is demand. In the world of numismatics, demand can vary from year to year, depending on trends and the interests of collectors. So, if there is a sudden surge in demand for dimes from a specific year or with certain varieties, the price of the 2006 P. Roosevelt dime can rise dramatically. Speaking of value, let's talk about the numbers. You might be shocked to learn that certain 2006 P. Roosevelt dimes have been sold for astronomical amounts. While most of these coins will still only fetch a few dollars or so, the ones with rare errors or in pristine condition can go for tens of thousands of dollars, or even more. In fact, there have been reports of certain Roosevelt dimes with rare features being sold at auction for as much as $34 million. Yes, you read that right, $34 million. Now, before you go running to your piggy bank looking for your 2006 P dimes, keep in mind that these kinds of prices are reserved for the absolute rarest specimens. So, what exactly makes these coins worth millions of dollars? Well, it's the combination of rarity, demand, and historical significance. When you find a coin that is not only incredibly rare, but also tied to an important part of American history, collectors are often willing to pay top dollar. It's also worth mentioning that these kinds of extreme values are often seen at high-profile auctions, where collectors and investors are willing to bid aggressively to secure a piece of history. So while your 2006 P. Roosevelt dime might not be worth millions, there are still plenty of opportunities to find valuable coins that can grow in value over time. To understand the value of your own 2006 P. Roosevelt dime, the first thing you'll want to do is examine its condition. Coins that are graded in higher conditions will naturally be worth more. If you find that your coin is in excellent condition with no visible wear, scratches, or damage, you may have a coin that is worth more than you think. To get an accurate assessment of your coin's value, you should have it professionally graded by a reputable grading service such as the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. Another thing to consider when evaluating the value of a 2006 P. Roosevelt dime is the type of error it might contain. Common errors in this coin series include die cracks, misaligned dies, and off-center strikes. These errors are often subtle and require a trained eye to spot, but if you do find one, your coin could be worth much more than you might expect. So, how can you sell or buy one of these valuable coins? The first step is to know where to look. Auction houses, specialized coin dealers, and online marketplaces are all great places to buy and sell rare coins. But before you make any transaction, be sure to do your research. As with any investment, it's important to understand the market trends and the value of the coin before jumping into a purchase or sale. In conclusion, the 2006 P. Roosevelt dime is a remarkable coin with a rich history and the potential to be worth an incredible amount of money. While most of these coins are still worth only 10 cents, a select few, especially those with minting errors or in perfect condition, can fetch millions of dollars. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, the 2006 P. Roosevelt dime is a coin that has captured the imagination of numismatists around the world. If you're lucky enough to come across one of these rare and valuable coins, you might just find yourself holding a piece of history worth a small fortune. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, happy collecting!